students, welcome you all to this video. In this video, we are going to talk about a good conductor, resistor, poor conductor and insulator. So in the previous slides we saw what is a conductor. Conductor is a medium through which electricity can pass. So any medium through which electricity can pass, that means electricity can flow or electrons can flow, that is a conductor. So what is a good conductor? Motion of electrons in an electric circuit constitutes an electric current. Why does this electric current comes into picture? Because suppose this is a conductor through which electrons are flowing. Okay. So here one thing you should remember, that in a circuit electrons always flow from negative terminal to positive terminal in this direction. Okay. But the direction of current is taken as the opposite of the direction of electron. That means if electrons are flowing from negative to positive, it is said that, or it is taken that current is flowing from positive to negative in the opposite direction. Okay, in this direction. So motion of electrons in an electric current constitute an electric current. So due to this motion of electron, electric current comes into picture. Now, the electrons are not completely free to move within a conductor. They are restrained by the attraction of the atoms among which they move. So as I mentioned you in the previous class or the previous slide, that suppose this is a conductor. This conductor is nothing but the combination of small number of atoms and molecules which are tightly packed. Now within the space of these molecules, electrons are moving. Okay. Electrons move within the space like this. Okay. They find the gap between the atoms and they usually move. Okay. So the electrons are not completely free to move within a conductor. Here the conductor is not an empty space. Here electron cannot move as water moves through a pipe. Okay. They are restrained by the attraction of the atoms among which they move. Okay. So due to this, as the electron flows, the electron is negatively charged. Now these negatively charged particles get attracted by the atoms and molecules. Motion of electron through a conductor is retarded by its resistance. So as this point I have already explained you in the last slide. So these motions of electron got affected by the atoms and molecules present in a conductor. So it get resisted, retarded, it get reduced. So a component of a given size that offers a low resistance is a good conductor. So what is a good conductor? Good conductor is a medium or a conductor in which electron can flow comparatively good. Electron can flow comparatively in a good speed. Means there is less resistance. Resistance offered by the atoms and molecules that constitute the conductor. These atoms and molecules provide less resistance to the flowing electron. So this is called good conductor. Comparatively, the speed of the electron is more compared to other conductors. Then what is a resistor? A good conductor having some appreciable resistance is called resistor. So what is a resistor? Resistor is also a conductor. Okay. So a conductor having some appreciable resistance, having some desired resistance. It is called a resistor. Now next point, a component of identical size that offers a high resistance. If the resistance is very high, that means electron is trying very hard to flow from one point to another point in a conductor. So those type of conductor is known as poor conductor. Okay. Then next point is insulator. An insulator of the same size offer very high resistance. if the resistance is very high, very much high, that means electron cannot even flow in the material, that is called insulator. Okay, so again, what is a good conductor? Good conductor is a medium through which electrons can easily flow. What is a resistor? Resistor is a conductor through which electron can flow but with some appreciable resistance. It provides some resistance but electron can flow. What is a poor conductor? Poor conductor is a medium through which electron try very hard to flow. It provides very high resistance. Now what is an insulator? Insulator is a medium through which electron may not flow. It provides very high resistance. Now what are the factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends? This resistance we saw. So what are the factors on which it depends on? So first factor, its length. Suppose this is a conductor, it is another conductor. Here length of this conductor is L1, length of this conductor is L2. Here you can see that L1 is greater than L2. Length of first conductor is more than length of second conductor. So here if we consider the motion of one particular electron, suppose this electron is moving from here till here. This same electron is moving from here to here. Suppose from here to here there are 1 million number of atoms that resist the flow of electron. They try to resist the flow of electron. So from here to here, as length decreases, here the number of atoms that resist the flow of electron or that opposes or that behaves like obstacle to flow the electron is less than 1 million. Suppose this is 0.4 million. Here 0.4 million number of atoms are there which resist or which opposes the flow of electron. Here 1 million number of atoms are there which oppose the flow of electron. So here the number of resistance or the value of resistance is more. So as the length increases, the value of resistance also increases. Okay. Second point, the area of cross section A. Okay. So as area of cross section increases, the value of resistance decreases. How? Let us see. Now we take two resistor, two conductor having same material, same length but different cross sectional area. You can see here. Here this is the first conductor, this is the second conductor. Well, this length of this conductor is same as length of this conductor. But here the area of this conductor, this surface area is less compared to this surface area. Okay. So here within this surface area, suppose here n number of electrons will try to move. Here also n number of electrons will try to move. Now see, within this area n number of electron is moving. Now this area is more compared to this area. So comparatively within this area, this n number of electron can move very freely compared to this one. It is like this. Suppose you have a very small door in your room. Now you have a very big door in your room. Within this small door, very small door, can you go out of your room or come into your room freely? No. But within this big door, you can easily go out or you can come into your room. Similarly, for the same number of electrons, the space which is available, the cross section which is available through which electrons will move here is less. Here it is more. So as the area increases, resistance upward decreases. Okay. So here the resistance is inversely proportional to cross section area of the conductor. Third one is nature of the material. Now this material, whether it is iron, whether it is copper, whether it is silver, which type of material is it, it depends upon that factor also. So here resistance is directly proportional to length. As length increases, resistance offered is also increases. Resistance is inversely proportional to area. As cross-sectional area increases, resistance decreases. As cross-sectional area decreases, resistance increases. Now, if you combine these two, R is proportional to L and R is proportional to 1 by A, it will become R is proportional to L by A, where resistance is directly proportional to length, resistance is inversely proportional to cross-sectional area. Now, R will be equal to some constant, which is rho, into L by A. So, R equal to some constant rho into L by A. Now, what is this constant? Where rho is a constant of proportionality and is called electrical resistivity. Here, the name of the constant is electrical resistivity. This is very important. You should keep this one in mind. What is electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor? Now, this electrical resistivity for a particular material medium is constant, but for different material medium, this value changes. For example, the value of electrical resistivity for iron is not equal to the value of electrical resistivity for copper. When material changes, these value also changes. Okay. Next point is electrical resistivity. About this electrical resistivity we will discuss here. So the SI unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. Ohm into meter. This whole one is the unit. Now, as you know that resistance equal to L by A into rho. Okay. So here we are going to find out the unit of rho. So rho will be equal to R into A divided by L. So what is the unit of R? Unit of resistance ohm. What is the unit of area? Meter square. What is the unit of length? Meter. This meter square and meter got cancelled. Okay, that this one and this one will get cancelled, and it will become ohm into meter. Okay. So the SI unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. Keep this one in mind. SI unit of resistance is ohm. SI unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. It is a characteristics property of the material. So this value depends upon material, which type of material is it. As the material changes, its value also changes. Both the resistance and resistivity of a material vary with temperature. As the temperature increases, its value also increases for a particular material medium. For example, if you take an iron rod at 20 degree centigrade, suppose the value of resistivity, electrical resistivity is X. If you increase the temperature, here the value of this electrical resistivity, it will change from X. Okay. It will be some other value, X plus something or X minus something. Okay. So at 20 degree for iron, its value will remain constant, but if you increase or decrease the temperature, it will also increase or decrease. Okay. So the resistance and resistivity, both of them are getting affected with the change of temperature. Okay. So this is all about today's class. In the coming class, we will see some of the examples and we will try to solve some of the problems. Okay. Thank you and have a nice day.